And welcome back to Walt Plays Dark Souls. In this episode, we're going to take a couple alternate paths, do a couple of side things that we've thus far neglected, and the nice thing is that at this point in the game, we can actually teleport between bonfires, so it makes the rest of this quite a bit easier. A couple things that I'm just going to do real quickly, nothing that's going to take a lot of time. We're going to want to get into the DLC area. And I do think that I'm going to be also doing the painted world of Artorias soon, because for a lot of the DLC, particularly, weapons that are infused with any kind of element really just don't do enough damage, and it definitely is one of the hardest areas in the game. So for that exact reason, we're going to stock up some souls, we're going to upgrade the Man Serpent Greatsword, and we'll go get Artorias beaten so that we can start getting his gear. We did not fight this night before. Figure we'd knock it out now that it's pretty trivial. We got the Black Knight Greatsword, so actually that may be something worth upgrading. I think it's very heavy though. Yeah, but it weighs 14. It scales very well with strength. But I require to have 32 strength to wield that. Shouldn't be a problem in two hands, though. Yeah, we can use that in two hands, no problem. Okay, that's one thing that I wanted to do for sure. Let's see if we can level this up a little bit as well. So we'll also go to the Undead Parish. I believe it takes Twinkling Titanite to upgrade the great weapons. I don't know if this would necessarily be better, or we should just be using... Let's see, that requires 28. Flamberge doesn't scale all that well. Man Serpent Sword does. I think we'll end up using this just because we can use it with one hand, and it is quite powerful. We need more Titanite shards for that. And I need 400 souls, so hopefully I have a little bit in my inventory. No, I do not. Well, we'll go ahead and do the painted world in this episode before we graduate to the Artorias of the Abyss DLC. Now, this is entirely optional. What's nice about it, though, is there are a ton of great quality items that we can get while we're there. And it's a great spot for farming, too, if you find that you are a little bit under level. Good place for you to be. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Dark Moon Tomb. Technically, the next official objectives are to defeat the lords from the intro movie that did link the first flame with Gwyn. But I'm going to hold off on that. Being an Artorias playthrough, we're going to want to get a lot more like Artorias before we consider going after them. Go ahead and switch back for this section to my Lightning Zweihander, which is insanely powerful. What you're going to do is just go right up to the top here. I believe we need to rotate this once before we can... Oh no, we are on the correct floor. I'm sure you remember all the painting guardians and traversing the rooftop. So at this point, we're just going to skip past some of these painting guardians and go into the painting. Try to avoid the throwing knives as you come in here. It's a cool little side dungeon. Doesn't take all that long. Boss is fairly easy. In fact, she's also optional. She gives you an option to not fight her, but I think we'll more likely than not be fighting her anyways. Now, the item you need, the Peculiar Doll, was something that we acquired when we went back to the Undead And there is no way out of here until you either find the exit or you defeat the boss. So make sure you're ready for this. One thing that concerns me is that I may do too much damage to cut off her tail and miss out on a unique weapon. She has a kind of a cool tail dagger. Does a lot of bleed damage. Yeah, lightning damage in this game is pretty powerful. Just overall, a lot of people recommend the Lightning Zweihander, and I'm sure you can see why. I mean, we're just destroying things. Make sure that you have a lot of purple moss clumps and blooming purple moss clumps when you do come in here, because a lot of enemies do poison in this area. However, one thing you can do, though, if you're real good at parries or backstabs, by performing either of those two actions, the infested enemies that do poison or toxic you do not release a cloud of toxic. These guys here. They're terribly annoying. Yeah, see, I'm already toxic, unfortunately. Oh, I missed entirely. And I actually don't know if I have any blooming purple moss. I have purple moss clumps. Let's take a look real quick. Yeah, I do. So we're not in that bad of a shape. This path, like I said, this is kind of a small area. But with that said, a couple things to watch out for. A lot of this is fairly circular as well. So we're going to take the same path a couple times to make sure we're grabbing the items. We'll go in here first. I believe we can make this jump. I don't know if we have to come around or not. We'll go ahead and try it. Yeah, no, that's not a jump we can make. I'm sure we'll be back here, though. For now, let's start attacking some of these white rats. Hopefully they'll drop some humanity for us. I may use a few humanity to make up my item discovery while we're here. Yeah, why not do that right now? Don't typically die on this place unless we're messing with bone wheel skeletons. Anything from him? Nope. So far so good. See a couple guys hanging up there. We can get those items in just a bit. This area right here is pretty tricky. A lot of mobs, a lot of poison. I'm really going to see if I can take advantage of the range of this to get outside of their toxic spray. Nope. Man, that's going to be annoying. Instead of curing it, after we make one run through here, I may just go back to the bonfire. In order to get this item, you need to cut down the body. When we go down below, we're going to grab that. Another one down. So there's not too much in this building. But there are a couple entrances to this building that allow you to grab a couple more items as well. And we're going to get ambushed up here. Not too much of a big deal. Head up top and see if we missed anything. Well, just that guy, I suppose. Okay, so that's all of our Estus Flasks. So we'll make one full loop and go back to the bonfire. And I think I'm going to kindle it as well. We're going to be trying to fish for some backstabs while we're going in here, so I don't have to compete with constantly being poisoned. Now, outside this building where I killed the Hollow, you can drop down. You can't get that item quite yet, but drop down here. And one more floor you can drop down to. This area is covered in rats. They're very easy. It's actually just a good spot to farm humanity. but nothing quite yet. As you move forward through this building, there is an item that you can jump and acquire in here, and this is going to lead us back up top on the other side of the building we were at. Go ahead and jump over to the corner through the barrels, pick up your gold coin. Really hard to make the jump back, you don't really have a lot of room. I don't remember what rings I'm wearing, but I'm going to want to check that. Yeah, we do not need the Thunderstone plate ring. I think, let's take a look and see what would be helpful here. Don't have a covetous silver ring quite yet. Go ahead and do a ring of, well, I think for this particular dungeon, the fire might be a little bit more helpful. Don't go down here, we're actually going to come up from the other side as you jump out from here. Go ahead and fall down this hole instead. It's going to lead us to the other side that we were just looking at there. Get out of my way, table. This chest is not a mimic, feel free to open that up. Rewarding us with the painted guardian gear. Very light gear. And we're ambushed again as we come up top here, but not that big of a deal. So this is the same building we dropped down from, but at this point we're on the other side of the roof, so we can go ahead and pick up this item we saw hanging out the window. And I think that that's it. One more item right around the corner. So now that we have everything in here, I'm going to make a little bit of a risky move before we head back to the bonfire, but I'm fairly certain I can grab my souls anyhow. As you come out and follow this path, you can come down here. And you'll see this bridge, which at this point has some items on it. There's a blob dragon that's dead over there. As you move forward, though, the dragon does come to life. So you want to retreat real quickly. I think all the dragons are weak against lightning, so we have a good weapon for this, but he doesn't come all the way back. Looks really intimidating, not too bad. Just need to kind of do a guerrilla back and forth on him. He spews the poison down here. You can come up and get a hit in. Ooh. Yeah, since we were up top that time, he attacked up top with that. I'm gonna use a Divine Blessing, because I'd honestly prefer not to die here. Roll quick. Yeah, so we're fine. He does alternate depending on what tier you're on, so since he's going straight, I'm just gonna go hit his hand once. They miss entirely. He will use melee attacks too, but this is the general pattern. You run up, get a hit in, perhaps. Just gonna need to kind of be careful. There we are. Alternate like so. Oof, almost got poisoned there. Hopefully he'll go right up top. Nah. He may bite me. He's just about dead, actually. Yeah, that's not bad. Yep, so we beat the Undead Dragon too. That'll net us 5,000 souls, so we're in a real good spot here. He drops a blood shield, and there's one more item on the bridge we can collect as we're here. There we are. So at this point, we've actually gotten quite a bit done. And I think what I'm going to do is open the shortcut while we're here too. So there's this Coliseum building. We haven't gone in yet, but if you go down to the bottom, there is a door here. All the way on the bottom. Two doors, rather. Now, one leads to the boss. The other is a shortcut back to the beginning. There's a phalanx enemy out here. It's just a massive blobs with shields and spears. Right now, just run around them. You know, don't bother attacking all that. There's no point. The most important thing is that we open this door, because this will allow us to access the bonfire, bypass everything up top that we just did. So we'll be in really good shape. We've gained quite a few souls that we can use to upgrade some of our weapons. Go ahead and kindle the bonfire as well. And hopefully we can upgrade our weapons a little bit more here. Got our +3 Man's Serpent Greatsword. Got a couple Titanite chunks, so we can continue to upgrade the Lightning Zweihander. There we are. Okay. And this has gotten even more powerful. So instead of going upstairs now, we can just go right back out here into the courtyard. Now here's something worth noting as well. We're going to get invaded by a pyromancer in here that drops some unique gear. So deal with the hollows quick. Just be careful because he's fairly difficult. He's a pretty high level pyromancer. Anybody that has played the Soul series, the invader is an homage to a character from the first game, Demon Souls. A reference to the old monk character from that game. You can actually get the headgear from that boss, which is kind of cool. I think one backstab will probably do him in. I don't remember him having a ton of health, but he does hit quite hard, so... I think beating him will give you his weapon, and then having killed him, his gear appears later. Yeah, he's King Jeremiah is the name of the Dark Spirit. There he is. He also uses a whip that causes bleed damage. Yeah, there it is. And that's it. He just really can't keep up with our weapon. Gave us a huge amount of souls. Pretty impressive. There's a pyromancy hidden back here. So that's the side graveyard area that we just went through. Nothing super big there. Outside all the souls we got from King Jeremiah. Now I don't think I can buy any more shards, so I can't really do much. Let's see. I'm gonna keep my strength where it is. We do need to pump intelligence a bit, so we'll knock that out too. I think I need 3 more points of intelligence to go ahead and use Artorias' sword to great effect. Perfect. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is actually go right back to the area we unlocked this shortcut and fought the Bone Dragon. We're missing a couple items back there that I'd like to get. And so far, I'm considering this to be a real successful run. Doing everything. I'll go ahead and look at my stats quick, make sure that I am where I need to be. Yeah, thus far we have real good resistances with this gear on. Pretty happy with where we're at stat-wise. I usually don't recommend, if you're a strength character, putting any points in intelligence or faith unless you're going to use some buffs. But in this case, we're going to end up using a weapon that's required for. So if you come back in here, we're going to encounter our first harpies, which are pretty annoying enemies. They'll go down pretty quick, but they really do hurt if you get hit. They have a couple attacks that they can pounce on you. So just make sure you're blocking. It's hard to stay locked onto them too, so... I think there may be one more in this area. Up top. We want to climb all the way to the top here. Yeah, there's the last harpy. I gotta be careful with that swing too, purely because of the fact that it kind of carries me forward, so I don't want to get knocked off. This will lead us up to Red Sign Soap Zone. That's the item you can leave a summon sign for other players to fight you if you're into the PvP aspect. So you saw I dropped down there and picked up another soul, and from here you can just roll back down onto the staircase. So there's nothing on this tier here. I'm gonna go down just a little bit further. Run around to the other side. We'll fall right down here. I think there was one item we were missing, yeah, from over on the other side there. It looks like, let's see, don't exactly remember where we get that, but we'll get it. So you can see a lot of the souls we're picking up, they're worth a sizable amount of the currency. I think it's like 3,000-4,000 a pop. Quickly take a shortcut back up top. Man, it didn't work last time, it didn't work this time. Now that we've gotten everything in the tower, we'll go back out to where the phalanx enemy was. Oh shit. Not great. Looks like the other one fell right off the edge though. Okay, so we're doing A-okay. Gonna avoid fighting some of these guys on the way through. I'd rather not get toxic while we're making our way forward. And at this point, we can go back down to the bottom. That dragon does not respawn, by the by. Oh, the harpies fell all the way down here. Very cool. Okay. Not necessarily to fight the phalanx, they hit pretty hard, as you can clearly see. I likely will farm them a little bit later on. They drop a decent amount of souls, especially if you have the coveted Silver Serpent Ring. Okay, we definitely want to get our body and that 4 humanity back. Now we're going to be going into this church on the right, but in order to get in there, we need to go into the little cathedral on the left side first. And we're actually almost done with the entirety of the Painted World. This is the body we cut down earlier. Gave us a humanity. This well is going to be important. We're going to be coming out of this well. And we can also go up the steps here, snag ourselves an item. Ring of Sacrifice. Now the phalanx does separate. The difficult part about it is just because of how numerous they are. They can be hurling spears at you for days. That guy's gonna get me. Maybe not. I'm just trying to clear some of them out so we have a little bit more mobility in this little garden. Actually, they're just about dead. So am I. Yeah. We're doing fine though. I mean, that's pretty easy place to grab our souls, and we'll go ahead and progress. Beat up on by hollows. Man, not ideal. Alright. Just want to make absolutely sure that I grab this quick. Okay, a couple things to do in this building as well. I'm going to go up the stairs here. There's a left and a right you can make. We're going to make a left and get attacked by a couple hollows that are hiding around the sides. Okay, good to go there. There's a soul there. Now that we're over here, you can see the body hanging down out there. That's right where we started the area, so you can cut that down as well. And at this point, we're going to take the other path here, which leads down into the basement. It's pretty creepy. Some bone wheel skeletons down here, which hit real hard, so a little bit of a tough area. Just have to take this slowly. Make sure that you do have your shield out. Pretty easy for them to wipe out your entire health bar just because of how quickly they attack. They spin at you and destroys your shield's durability. If you have a weapon with some reach, use it. Don't have them stun lock you. There we are. I'm gonna keep my health high, because we likely will go back to the bonfire before we fight the boss, so should be a couple more of them in here. These aren't really the ones I'm worried about. The ones that I'm real worried about, there's some narrow hallways that makes it really tough to fight enemies with this kind of mobility. And these guys are fine. They can't get much of a jump on us. I mean, it's a pretty open room. You just strafe around to the sides, you'll be okay. Looks like one of them drops something, and it may actually be their shield. Yeah, bone wheel shield. I don't think it's that great, but it has a cool attack, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're not strong enough apparently to use that, but if we were, we could do a little spinning attack with it. It's kind of neat. I'm gonna switch to a grass crest shield though. And we have the eagle shield primarily to prevent lightning damage. Now pulling this lever does open the path to the boss. I'll let that cutscene play out. There's the bridge. Instead of going back up the ladder, we're going to come back through the well, and there's a hidden door there. It's fairly obvious. And what's annoying about this area is fighting these little bone wheel guys, where you have no real mobility. By the time you actually catch up with them, they've already turned around and started running, so yeah, he's just decimating me. That's why this area is kind of rough. I'm going to keep my shield up, and hopefully we can corner him against a wall, put an end to that. There we are. A lot of these guys, a lot of hidden side paths. Don't be stingy with your Estus flasks. You know, we have shortcuts unlocked that allow us to pretty much get right back here. That's the most important part, the NX key. Definitely going to want that. That allows us to get into the other building, get all the goodies there as well. So we're almost all the way through here. I don't know where this leads. Oh, yes I do. There's a pyromancy over here. Try to take him out from far. Nah, I got toxicked. Ugh, the worst. I thought he did drop something for us though. Yeah, fire surge. That's what he was protecting. Decent pyromancy. Okay. Now, we want to go back where the first skeleton popped out at us over here. And I'm sorry if this is tough to follow, this is a little bit of a maze, but you'll see that we've unlocked this here ladder that'll lead us back up to the well. A couple phalanxes just hanging out, waiting for me to pop up again. Yeah, they are all lined up against us. Yeah, there's a couple of areas in this game that remind me of Demon Souls, the first game in the series, and I think a lot of it was just a kickback. King Jeremiah and the old monk gear, and this is very similar to the first boss of Demon Souls, the Phalanx there. What I'll be doing next is more likely than not, I probably will be playing Dark Souls, or Demon Souls as well. But being as that's never been released on PC, I'll probably need to find some recording software for my PS3. I may take everything we've gained here and try to invest it in the last couple points in magic that I need, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. With the phalanx cleared up, I'm going to go real quick over to the bonfire, recharge our flasks, do the last building, and then take out Crossbreed Priscilla. It's the daughter of a goddess and a dragon. And I'm going to save my souls for the time being. The Phalanx will always respawn there. Easiest area for me to farm in the game, you know, especially if you have a couple slots of attunement and a decently upgraded Pyromancy Flame, you can go in there and cast Chaos Storm, have the fire erupt all over those guys, and just crush them in seconds. That door is unlocked with the Annex key. And we're going to go up top first, so we're not barraged with fire. There are harpies up here as well. They're a little bit of a trick in this area. As they come down, they will walk into this hole because they're idiots. Where's the second one at? There is an item up there. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, I'll do the same thing. I mean, we can fight them. They're not that bad, but rather make our life easy. Cool little trick. Just hug the wall, it'll be good. This is tough though, a lot of these guys do land. Doesn't make a difference if we're knocking them down like that. So now we can go to this tier, and we saw this item a little bit earlier while we were inside the Colosseum, but there's the Velka gear. I believe Velka in this universe is the goddess of sin. She has her own church sect. I don't know if it's a him or her, so I shouldn't be so confident. I'm making assumptions. Try really hard to get some backstabs here. Don't want to get toxic. Yep, we'll do it. Toxic it is. No matter. One more run of the bonfire before we fight the boss. Let's go ahead and get down here. And we'll get the coal for the blacksmith. The Dark Ember allows us to dark infuse our weapons. Pretty cool. If I was lazier, I'd use a homeward bone, but we're in good shape. I'm just going to run back to the bonfire. So that's everything in Painted World. As for the boss, as I said, she gives you an option to just leave, if you'd prefer. We're not going to do that. I mean, we're going to take her out. Really important to get a good, solid hit on her tail right at the beginning there. It's a very tiny tail she has. Doing so allows you access to Priscilla's dagger. She does a lot of bleed damage. Hits really quick. So let's go ahead and get rid of this toxic. I can level up once with all those souls. Pretty crazy. Love the parry with a sword that large. That's just absurd. Okay, this time, not the building on the left or the right, but we're going back into the Colosseum building, straight past the Phalanx. And now that we have gone to the basement and pressed that lever, the other door is open. So this is a little bridge. This area is kind of annoying. A lot of enemies hiding on the sides of these areas. So as soon as we get up to the archer, a couple more are going to pop up. There we are. I think we get ambushed by, 5 or 6 of them at one point. I'm thinking like one swing will probably take him out, though. Yeah. Maybe 2. We have to be careful. This is the second or third Baronique Knight we fought, and they hit so hard. And this guy in particular gives me a little trouble sometimes. Barely escaped. One hit left. Unless he uses an Estus Flask. No, he's down. Part of the reason this fight that we're about to do is somewhat difficult is because Priscilla goes invisible right away. As soon as you hit her. You have to follow the footprints in the snow to be able to hit her. This is Priscilla.
Who art thou? One of us thou art not. If thou hast misstepped into this world, plunge down from the plank and hurry home. If thou seekest I, thine desires shall be requited not.
Okay, so the first hit's pretty important. We're going to put this in 2 hands. I'm going to cast Power Within real quick. Start sapping our health, but increase our damage. Let's try to get a jump attack on that tail. Yep, 1 hit. That did it.
Why dost thee hurry toward thine death?
She does hit real hard, and she inflicts bleed as well. So look for her footprints in the snow. You have to look down. You can see her tail there, laying on the ground. There she is. Now that we've gotten her to half health, she can't be invisible any longer, and with the Lightning Sweep on her, she's terribly weak against electric, very weak against this style of damage, and not much of a fight. So we've come a long way. So our Soul of Priscilla, we got her tail, we did everything we needed to do there. A couple humanities as well. And because we killed King Jeremiah, we got all of the Xanthus gear, another 30,000 souls, and we can leave. Now you're given a homeward bone immediately, so if I were you, I'd be tempted to use said homeward bone, but if you do, it takes you back to the Painted World, and you can't leave via bonfire, so you need to actually run through it again. So do yourself a huge favor, and actually just run down to the nearest bonfire here. It's pretty close to you anyhow, and you don't want to have to replay that entire level, unless you are farming for souls at this point. I am actually going to go up and speak with the blacksmith real quick. Because honestly, the primary reason that we came here to begin with was to power up our vanilla weapon, the weapon that's not lightning infused. Looks like a couple of our buddies followed us, no matter. The other thing I'd like to do here is show you guys how to get back the Firekeeper at the Firelink Shrine. You may remember that Knight Lautrec actually did end up killing that Firekeeper. It's part of a side quest. Out of my way, please, sir. Goodbye. Another one following us. Kind of annoying. Okay, we'll flatten him too. So you can do both these things in Anor Londo. I'm going to speak with the giant have him upgrade a weapon a couple times for me. And we'll also return our Firekeeper from Firelink Shrine back to life. Okay, I need 2 and then 3, likely 5 small pieces of Titanite. Should be able to get this quite high up. Okay, 3 pieces of Titanite at this point. I'll make it a +5. So now that I've done that, we're gonna have to do the rest of it. I'll buy some large Titanite from him as well, and when I'm not recording, I'll go back to the first blacksmith entree and make sure I get the man-serving greatsword to +10. So I think that'd be helpful. I may come back here once, but we still have quite a few souls. What you're going to do is, in order to get your Firekeeper back, you probably remember that on the Firekeeper's body was a black eye orb. You can invade the world of the murderer of the Firekeeper. His world is in Anor Londo here, and if you go down to where we were fighting Ornstein and Smough right beforehand, it'll tell you, the game will tell you that your black eye orb is quivering. If you use that black eye orb, then you can invade him, kill him, and return her soul to her. Yeah, get out of my way. There it is. Said black eye orb is quivering, so we'll go ahead and use it. Ooh, that giant might get me. Alright, we are invading as a spirit of vengeance. Now, you can't use your Estus flasks because we're going to be a spirit. But I will be using humanity to heal, and I'm hoping we can just take him out fast enough that we don't get slaughtered ourselves. I'd rather not lose the other 27,000 souls. He has 2 allies with him. They're very difficult. They're actually a little bit more difficult than he is, in my opinion. One of them's a mage there. The other one has a pretty powerful spear. All you need to do, truthfully, is kill Lautrec. Oof. So hopefully we can grab our souls back. In either case, we hit so hard that he's in a lot of trouble. I think 2 hits ought to do him in. I don't know if you necessarily... Oh, we didn't lose souls, so we're okay there. We'll go ahead and run across the bridge quick. A quicker way to do this may be to teleport from here to Chamber of the Dark Moon. Not entirely sure. Yeah, we'll go to Chamber of the Princess. Here we are. It's the room we fought Ornstein and Smough in. Somehow those pillars that they broke were they'd miraculously recovered there. We'll fight our way through the giant. They look pretty tough, but they're going down quick. Oof, that arrow went right by my head. Heal up before I leave, hopefully. Nope. Oh man. Alright, I will use a humanity though before we start. We actually did not lose anything by dying, so really stand everything to gain. I'll use Power Within as well. A little bit risky, since we can't really heal unless we're using Humanity, but fairly confident. Yep, one down. Fairly easy. Oh! Did not expect that. Hats off to you, Lautrec. Hats off to you. Pretty impressive. Well, we'll return to the Chamber of the Princess here. Just about done. Now, I don't know if that Sorcerer comes back or not. Dropped quite a few souls, though. It's kind of nice. Here we are once more. Perfect timing for the lift. Yeah, I hit the Sorcerer for 700 damage with Power Within activated. Quite the buff. Ouch. No thank you. No thank you, sir. I just really don't want this giant to be attacking me while I'm mid, well, being summoned to the other world. There we go, that should let me beat him. Nope. That'll be that. Oh. Shield. Super annoying. Ugh, I've never had such a hard time fighting a nameless enemy. There we are, finally. If nothing else, gaining a lot of souls by doing this, so not that bad of a thing. Searching for the World of the Guilty, I'll get my Humanity out. His armor's pretty good. It's armor, favor, and protection. I like the look of it for sure. The ring he gives you is the real prize for the fight, though. I'm going to try to replace Hovel's ring with the Ring of Favor and Protection. It boosts your life bar, boosts your endurance bar. I'll have to see what my equipment load is like, but since I'm taking my endurance very high anyways, I think it'd be pretty helpful. Oh, you almost got a backstab on me. No bueno. I gotta heal. I'm in some trouble. That was a little bit of a fail too. Now if I can isolate him on the stairs, I don't think this will be too much of a problem. There's... Ouch. Try to get a drop attack on him. Somehow that did not kill Spear Guy. I'm gonna die. Yep, Power Within killed me. Well, typically, this is a 1 or 2 time thing. A little bit of trouble this time. Humanity count's getting real high from healing in there. Alright. Let's give this one more run. You know, absolute worst case scenario, I can cut the video if I do lose again. Let's do it off camera so you don't need to watch me do it. By doing this, you kind of get the best of both worlds because you get the Firekeeper set, which is pretty good. And you can get Lautrec's gear. In addition to that, his ring you still get. So giant friend down. Good to go there. Black Eye Orb. And I think because we're already doing as much damage as we are, I am not going to cast Power Within this time, you know, because that ultimately was what killed me last time when I was in my moment of victory. 8 humanity. I'll just make a charge right for him here. See if that works for me. Alright, there's one hit on Lautrec there. Another hit on Lautrec. And hopefully he does not backstab me. That's it. Even should I lose at this point, should be good to go. Prefer to kill these guys, but yeah, we did it. We're good to go. Okay, Firekeeper Soul, Ring of Favor and Protection, and a Humanity. All wonderful things. I'll show you where to pick up the gear real quick as well. All you're going to do is take one of the elevators in the room from Ordenstein and Smoke, and you can pick up Lautrec's armor on one of the side paths. So that'll be the end of this video. As soon as I grab that, I'm going to teleport back to the Firelink Shrine, then upgrade our Man's Serpent Greatsword, and next time we're going to make a quick run for the DLC area. One of the most, hands down, the most difficult content in my opinion. I have a lot of trouble there. I'm going to make sure that we're going to make it as smooth as we can and at least get for now to Artorias so we can start picking up some of his gear. There's Lautrec's stuff. All you're going to do at this point is go resurrect that Firekeeper. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, on Walt Plays Dark Souls. Good to have you on board. We'll talk with you next time when we start the DLC.